kind of run the gamut. Kitchen sink rosé, Sauvignon Blanc,
Chardonnay and Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir and Chardonnay.
Pinots in our Chardonnays.
Grenache.
Zinfandel,
Cabernet, Cab Franc,
Cabernet.
Merlot,
Chardonnay.
Viognier.
Merlot, Malbec, Zinfandel, Grenache.
Sonoma, you can do it all.
Well, I think you nailed it.
And we grow a little bit of Sangiovese.
I'm here with Dustin Moilanen of ACTA Vineyards. How you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful Friday night in Sonoma.
Tell me about your auction lot.
We've got a great auction lot. It's called Sip, Savor, and Speed. This is actually something that's very near and dear to me. I've been participating in this event for 16 years at this point. It's a fundraiser for Make-A-Wish and the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital in Central Florida, and it's the premier exotic car festival in the United States. Amazing food, amazing wine, including an ACTA wine dinner at the Waldorf, and then all of the go fast you could possibly imagine.
What do you think sets Sonoma apart from other wine-growing regions?
I think actually it's just that, the freedom of creativity and the ability to find good whatever you want to make here in Sonoma County.
And as always, importantly for our listeners, what is your website?
ACTAwine.com, ACTAWINE.com.
Good seeing you again, man. Thanks very much. Serpa. I'm here with Jalynn Serpa, our first interview of the night tonight at the event for the auction, which is the Sonoma County Wine Celebration. And Jalynn is with 32 Winds and Mascarin Wines, correct?
Correct.
One thing about Sonoma that I love is that you can grow just about anything here. What kind of wines do you make at 32 Winds?
So currently we have all the Sonoma County basics. So we have our Pinots and our Chardonnays, but we also have a few things in the works that are more creative. We're doing a whole cluster Pinot as well as a red blend, which has 9 different varietals from the Loire Valley, which we're really excited about, and it's also 80% Syrah. So it's a crazy blend of different flavors that you cannot pinpoint if you try, essentially.
So what do you think sets Sonoma apart from other wine-growing areas?
I think it's the Mediterranean climate that's just like the most beautiful place to grow anything in the world, essentially. This and Tuscany are two of the best places to grow. You can throw anything in the dirt and it'll bloom, essentially.
Gentlemen, for our listeners who'd like to learn about 32 Winds and Mascarin Cellars, what is your website?
Our website is 32winds.com. It's that simple.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here with Megan Koolmees, right, of Benovia Wines. How are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Happy to be here.
What are some of the varietals you're growing at Benovia?
We are mainly focused on Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, but we have expanded to pouring Grenache and Zinfandel and Cabernet recently.
What do you think sets Sonoma off from other wine-growing regions?
I think the diversity in the soil, the diversity in the climate sets us apart from a lot of other regions.
For our listeners who'd like to learn about you, what is your website?
Our website is benoviawinery.com.
Megan, thanks very much. That's all there was to it.
Thank you.
So I'm here to talk to one of the groups that are benefiting from the Sonoma Charity Auction today, and I'm here with Elana Nelson from the Sonoma Family Meal Group. Tell me a little bit about your organization.
Yeah, we started off in 2017 in response to the Tubbs fires by local food writer Heather Irwin, and we basically started providing prepared meals to people that were displaced by disaster. And throughout the last 7 years, we continued to do food security meals. We still do about 800 weekly meals to people who are experiencing food insecurity, but last year we also just launched our culinary job training program, tuition-free 9-week program serving low-income people who have barriers to employment, just trying to create opportunity for people. And so basically in all these different ways we are just trying to help strengthen the local food economy, the ecosystem, just create more resilience all around in our food ecosystem.
Most importantly for our listeners who might like to learn about you online, what is your website?
That's a great question, sonomafamilymeal.org.
Alana, thank you very much for your time, and good luck today. Hope you guys do well.
Thank you so much. We're grateful to be here and looking forward to hearing the podcast.
Cool.
Jill Benziger, and my title is Trade Development Ambassador.
And you are a Benziger, which is very cool. There's still Benzigers out there.
We're still running around.
And you guys are still biodynamic, correct?
We are, yeah.
You were one of the pioneers out here.
Yes, and we're still farming that way there. We do have other estates that we're farming as well in the Russian River and in Bodega Bay. We are farming some Pinot vineyards out there biodynamically as well.
What do you think sets Sonoma off from other wine-growing areas?
I think the diversity. We're a big county, and we have some really high elevated vineyards. We have the Sonoma Coast, so we can do Pinot, Chardonnay in certain areas of the county, and then you go south and you're getting more, you're getting sparkling, and then I just think the diversity in varietals. Also, as you do have higher elevated vineyards, you can do a lot of like Tempranillo and Malbec and some of those Italian and Spanish varietals as well. So I think just the diversity is really what's kind of the best part about Sonoma.
What are you pouring tonight?
I am pouring a Sauvignon Blanc called Paradiso de Maria from our biodynamic estate in Glen Ellen. I'm also pouring a Chardonnay that we actually purchased the grapes from the San Giacomo family, who are very well-respected growers and wine producers here in the Sonoma Valley. And then also a Bordeaux-style blend that we grow off our estate as well.
For our listeners who'd like to learn more about you online, what is your website?
It's just www.benziger.com.
Very important. Jill, real pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Right now I'm talking to Anthony, and Anthony is with Bricoleur Vineyards. Did I get close?
Close enough. I've heard it all.
Yeah, I bet you have.
Yeah.
Well, what is the proper pronunciation?
Bricoleur.
And is that a family name? Or?
It's not actually. We're an American family-owned winery. They found the name actually in a dictionary, and the definition resonated with them at the time. So.
What are you pouring tonight?
I have our brand new 2023 Estate Chardonnay, our Isla Rose Brut Rosé, as well as our Estate Pinot Noir, my favorite.
So tell me, what do you think, in your own personal opinion, sets Sonoma apart from other wine-growing regions?
I'd say the leisure of it all. I'd say everyone's really welcoming, warm. You can come in and not even have to call anyone around Sonoma, I'd say, and just pop in, and you could find yourself doing a tasting at multiple places without having planned it.
What is your website?
BricoleurVineyards.com. We also have our Instagram at the same handle, Bricoleur Vineyards. We're always doing a lot of new stuff, do a ton of events, charity work, kind of you name it.
Anthony, it was a real pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Great to meet you as well.
Julianna Martinelli. I am part owner. My family, my parents and my siblings and I all own the winery together. I'm actually fourth generation in the family business. I do sales and VIP tours and some traveling for the winery.
So what varietals are you guys bottling at Martinelli?
We just bottled our Zinfandel, and Zinfandel is our family heritage grape. My great-grandfather planted Zinfandel on our property in 1800s, and most of the family still lives there. The sixth generation still lives on the same land.
Needless to say, really, you guys are a huge piece of Sonoma history.
Yeah, we are. What's unique about us is that we've been here since the 1800s. On my mother's side of the family, since 1861. And we're very fortunate that we've been able to keep our land in agriculture for all of these decades.
Which is really super important.
Yeah, it's really great. The future generation is coming into the family fold. My daughters are our state director now, and my nieces are in college studying viticulture and plant science. And
what do you think differentiates Sonoma from other wine-growing regions?
Well, Sonoma is maybe what the difference is what I'm told, and I experienced this when I went to Italy, is it's very comparative to the Mediterranean terrain and climate. And we can grow a lot of different varietals here. I mean, there are people who grow Cabernet here, down to Pinot Noir. We have the fog, we're near the coast. We actually, in Sonoma County, there are more soil series in our county than in all of France.
For our listeners who would like to learn about Martinelli and your history, what is your website?
It's martinelliwinery.com.
Julianna, thanks very much. It was a real pleasure to meet you, honestly.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
We're here at the official auction day, which is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm here with a gentleman who I met just the other evening at a very special dinner held at 32 Winds. I'm here with Greg Ratliff. Greg, you're from Tulsa, Oklahoma, correct?
That's right. That's correct.
And you're part of a regular group, contingent, club, whatever you want to call it, who comes in and visits 32 Winds on a regular basis, right?
Yeah. The couple that keeps this organized bought this head table at an auction literally 18 years ago, and they have bought it every year since. And the group that comes kind of rotates, but there's a core of about 8 to 10 people from Oklahoma, from Tulsa, that come, and it's just a great experience.
I think it's fun, and they were a fun group to talk to yesterday, but I'm a little curious. Every state has wineries. Do you have any in your locale at all?
Yeah, I mean, all 50 states make wine. Oklahoma has wineries, and they're trying. My experience with them is that every year they have a booth at the fair, and so you can try their wines, and so I keep trying them, and they're okay.
That's where they get their medals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This group is our common theme. We have a wine experience very much like this at the Philbrook Art Museum. The Philbrook Wine Experience happens every 2 years. It's a biennial event, and it works actually as kind of a trade-off. A lot of the Sonoma winemakers will come to that event, and I think it's partially because we support their event as well.
You're here for the auction. Theoretically, you'll be bidding. Are there any particular lots that you're looking at that you might have your eye on?
Going through the catalog, lot number 1 has 72 bottles of Sonoma County wine. That'll be an interesting to see how much that goes for. Then there's another one that has an actor that has 60 bottles of his branded wine, but he also comes and does a dinner for 10 at your home. So if anybody that will come to Tulsa and try it out, I'm all for that. So I'm looking at that one as well.
Who would that be?
Harry Hamlin.
I hope you do well at the auction. I hope you guys, most importantly, have a good time and have a safe trip home.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a great experience. They could not have ordered better weather for this one. It's beautiful.
I totally agree, and this was a lot of fun for me to meet you guys.
Well, thank you. And nice to meet you as well. Thank you very much.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm here with Stuart Bryan. Stuart, we've known for about 652 years, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You're pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Of Pride Mountain, which is a wonderful winery that is basically both Sonoma and Napa Valley.
Actually, the county line does run right through our property, and we discovered that when we went to request our first permit, thinking we were going to be winemakers in Napa Valley, and found out 60% of the property is actually in Sonoma County. So we make Sonoma County and Napa wines side by side in a very harmonious way. And we say, just for fun, got to tell you, we say some days we're so Napa, and other days we're Napoma, and some days we're just kind of mildly confused and then go forward.
I was asking, do you have an auction lot for the event tomorrow?
Actually, I've participated in 3. The first one started as an event last night. Dinner at the Matheson, 4 wineries, and I like to call him Master Chef because he's a special person, Dustin. So we had 45 people on hand last night at his mezzanine level restaurant, and it was just a really beautiful evening to kick off this annual event. We've also helped curate a major auction lot with our board members from Sonoma County Vintner Board, and it's about 75 bottle collection of large formats, magnums. So we put in 3 liters, and so it's lot number 1, and that's going to be fun. It's going to go for big bucks. And then another lot that features the 2017 vintage for the quality and ageability that vintage showed. So that's another separate lot too. So great collectors' opportunities.
How do you think Sonoma stands up to other wine growing regions?
I think it stands up beautifully because of our diversity, our quality. Our wines are not priced out of the world. They're honestly made, honestly priced, and I think that's a very attractive thing. I think for a lot of people when they come out here to see the diversity, Sauvignon Blanc on one side of the river, Chardonnay on the next, as you work your way up the mountain, Old Vine Zinfandel. We've been growing Syrah on a mountaintop, as I said, since 2000. So a lot of diversity here, and it's really remarkable. This is kind of a playground for people to discover different varieties, different winemakers, new producers. It's so much fun, and I meet new people that have come into the wine profession here every year. It's really exciting.
Most importantly, for our listeners who'd like to learn about you online, what is your website?
pridewines.com.
Pretty easy to remember. Stuart, good to see you and good to have you on mic again.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you. Keep up the good work.
I'm here with Liz from Merriam Vineyards. How you doing, Liz?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. And what's your position there again?
I'm a business coordinator.
So you're out here on this night. You're not really coordinating business. You're here socializing.
Oh, yeah. They call it networking. It's a big part of the business. So I like to think that these events are just a great place to meet people.
Do you have an auction lot for the event tomorrow?
Yes, we do. We're actually giving a stay in Natick, Maine, and some other really great perks with that, as well as a private chef and dinner there with our proprietors. So.
What do you think differentiates Sonoma from other wine-growing regions?
Well, I think Sonoma is a great place to be. It's it's local, it's family owned. You see a lot more people connecting with individuals versus seeing corporations. And being a family owned business, we see so many people who are from the area, and it's great to be local. So.
For our listeners, what is your website?
MiriamVineyards.com.
You did very good, Liz. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you.
I'm here with David Berman of Stewards of the Coast and Redwoods.
Yeah.
There we go. Took me a few times to get that right.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really well. It's a beautiful event.
It's a beautiful event and it's a stunning day. Tell me about what your organization does.
Yeah, so we're a state park association. We actually work with the California State Parks. We are we work at Armstrong Redwoods, where the old growth redwoods are, and then also all along the Sonoma coast, we do programs like Seal Watch and Whale Watch, Seabird Network. We work with students, kids in the redwoods and schools, creating awareness for our natural resources. And we have 200 volunteers that help run our programs, work with us at the state parks. We have a place called Pond Farm, which is an amazing spot where they used to do pottery school years ago. And we do all kinds of watershed education and education throughout the county.
That's fantastic. And ideally, you're benefiting from this auction.
Yes, very much so. So it's been great being able to be part of this.
So how many years have you been doing this?
I've been doing environmental education for about 40 years, and so I've been doing it for a long time.
So you started when you were about 6 or 7 then, I guess.
I'm kind of older than that. But
So, David, are you a wine drinker?
Oh, yes. I love wine.
What's your favorite?
Probably a Pinot or Merlot. Yeah.
Well, the Pinot will be apropos for here.
Yeah.
Most importantly for our listeners, what is your website?
Our website is www.stewardscr.org.
This is the only man today who will have his very own cue card. I respect that.
Yeah, I got this cue card. I'm going to put it right by my face.
David, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
We're here with our old friend, Chris Donatello. Chris goes way back to podcast number 11, which was back in 2000. Was it 2011? 9? Yeah, 2009. Something like that. So either way, tell me about what you're doing these days, Chris.
I'm working with Foley Wines and Spirits, and I'm the director running a number of the properties here, including Chateau St. Jean, where we are today, Foray Carano, Banshee, and Lancaster Estate.
It's very convenient that you happen to be here for this event then.
Yeah, well, it was kind of required, but it's great to be here. This is it's the home of the auction, was for many years, and it's great to have it back.
And it's a stunning day.
It is. It's perfect. It's perfect. Couldn't ask for a better day. Welcome to wine country.
Now, we met when you had C. Donatello Wines, and God, it's a burning question for me, and I think I even asked you this when I first met you. You know, you're no longer making wine, but do you have some of the wine cellared from back in those days?
Oh, yeah. Got a little bit of every vintage stashed away, and I tip into it on a pretty regular basis.
That's just got to be so much fun.
It is. It's great to open those old bottles and to think about it. And it's kind of what wine's about, right? Opening an older vintage and thinking about that year and what happened and why.
So since Chateau St. Jean is representing this event today, how would our listeners learn about the group that owns St. Jean?
FoleyFamilyWinesAndSpirits.com, and you'll be able to see our entire portfolio from all up and down the West Coast and internationally as well.
Excellent. Chris, good seeing you.
Good seeing you, Ray. Thanks.
I'm here with Elaine Sale, and this is Elaine's label along with her husband called Elaine Wines. Great name.
Thank you. I had about 100 names that I came up with before that, and they were all taken. It was time to bottle, and someone said, why don't you just call it Elaine? So that's why I put in my label.
That's how good things happen. Tell me, how long has Elaine Wines been in business?
Since 2017.
Okay, so you're relatively new.
Quite new, but I love it. Best job ever.
I wouldn't argue with that. So tell me, I'd asked you, do you have an auction lot?
I do have an auction lot. We've paired with Limerick Lane Cellars, and Limerick Lane has a beautiful farmhouse on their property. The lot is 3 nights with Limerick Lane and wine from Limerick Lane, and then a catered dinner at our house for 6 people with the winemaker, who happens to be me.
What varietals are you growing, or what varietals are you bottling?
Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. We have a very small vineyard. It's 3 acres. 1 acre Chardonnay, 2 acres of Pinot Noir. I sell some of the fruit and vinify some of it, and I usually make about 46 cases of Chardonnay a year and around 100 in Pinot Noir.
Tell me why you think Sonoma stands out over other wine growing regions.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the people, and that's one of the reasons why we moved here from North Carolina. The winemakers are so willing to share their knowledge. I started making wine rather late in life, and so many people have helped me. It's been wonderful. And the same goes with learning how to grow grapes too. So it's been a very welcoming place. And then I think it's one of the best places in the world for growing Chardonnay and Pinot Noir.
Most importantly, for our listeners who'd like to learn about you online, what is your website?
ElaineWines.com.
Pretty easy. Elaine, this was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
A pleasure to meet you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Gus Slagle, GUS, Golf Uniform Sierra, Slagle, Sierra Lima Alpha, Golf Lima Echo.
Are you ex-service?
Yes, sir.
I should have known. What were you in? What branch?
Marine Corps.
Very cool. Thank you for your service.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and DTC.
Do we have an auction lot for this event?
We've contributed to a couple to the large format auction lot, and then the 2017 retrospective one as well. So I think we have a Kent Ritchie Vineyard Chardonnay going in the 2017 contribution, and then for the large format contributions, I think we have a vertical of Chenoweth Ranch Pinot Noir Magnums.
Great. Now you were telling me something about your plans for this year with Patz and Hall.
Yeah, so it's a really kind of momentous year for Patz and Hall. James Hall, the founding winemaker, bought his winery back from St. Michel Wine Estates back in March of this year. So this is our first kind of Sonoma County Wine Celebration, where we're kind of operating as an independent and family-owned winery for the first time in a long time.
So what do you think that sets Sonoma off from other wine-growing regions?
Well, I think the variety is a big piece. Like, I commute from Healdsburg down to Sonoma every day, and I think the microclimates and just kind of tracking the weather coming in and the temperature just as you go down 101 and cut your way inland and just kind of see how it fluctuates, which says nothing of kind of the terroir's evolution as well. So there's the variety, and then there's the ocean. You know, it's the ocean. It's not a bay. That's kind of influencing so much of the county. So you know, I think that's that, and then kind of the varietal focus. You know, the eclectic group of varietals, but especially just being a Pinot and Chardonnay heartland, make it very cool.
For our listeners who'd like to learn about you online, what's your website?
Our website is patzhall.com. That's PATZHALL.com. Papa Alpha Tango Zulu Hotel Alpha Lima Charlie Oscar Mike.
How long ago did you leave the service?
Long time ago.
Yeah, it didn't leave you though.
That's the trouble.
That's okay. Gus, this is a real pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. So I'm here with Andrea Cohen, and she's with Boys and Girls Club of Sonoma Marin. Now, as I already mentioned, it's great to be able to come out and talk to the people who benefit from this event. Most people are familiar with Boys and Girls Club, but give me a little background on what you're doing here today.
Great. Yeah, so we have 40 clubs in Sonoma and Marin, everywhere from Novato up to Cloverdale. And we've been a beneficiary of this organization for many years and are very, very grateful for the support. We serve about 10,000 children every year, and on any given day we have 3,500 children in our clubs. So this is very important funding that helps us do our programming, helps with literacy and education.
Really amazing. That's a lot of kids. How many years have you been doing this as Boys and Girls Club?
I'm only in my first year, but I've been a fundraiser. I'm the Chief Philanthropy Officer, and I've been a fundraiser for about 20 years in and around San Francisco.
Oh, good for you. Very impressive. And you assume you're a wine drinker?
Oh, of course. Yes. We've been having a few bubbles already.
Is that your favorite?
Bubbles, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's fair. Most importantly, for our listeners who'd like to learn about you online, what is your website?
We are www.bgcsonoma-marin.org.
It's a real pleasure to meet you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.